Welcome to Baggage to Boldness, godly daily encouragement for survivors of trauma. My name is Ria, and today we're going to be discussing one of the most harmful lies that the enemy loves to use on us, and that's the lie that we don't matter. And for many of us who have survived trauma, who may have had dysfunctional families or just grown up in more toxicity or even experience toxic relationships and things of that nature, we may have been told either verbally or non-verbally that we don't matter. And you may have spent years, seasons feeling like you've been dismissed, disregarded, or disrespected. And it can make us feel like our existence doesn't matter in the world, to our loved ones, or even to God. And this is a tool that the enemy uses in his tool belt to really disable us and to get us into these throes of depression where we really can't see who we are and our worth, and our ability to affect those around us clearly. So one of the biggest examples of someone who has been or was disregarded, disrespected, and dismissed was King David in the Bible. And King David has meant so much to so many people, right? But his story didn't start off with rousing success. His story starts off with Samuel, who was a judge and prophet in Israel, going to anoint the future king of Israel, who was to take the place of King Saul. So in Samuel's search, he searches high and low and he comes to the home of Jesse. Jesse is a man with many sons. And in Samuel looking over the sons, he's seeing these men who are tall and, look like they're ready, and they could be king. And God tells Samuel not to look at the outer appearance, but to look at the heart. And what's so unfortunate is that David's father, Jesse, when all the sons are being lined up, David's not even brought in from the field. David wasn't even considered to be an option for king by his own father. And so many of us, we were put in the same position where someone was coming to our house to anoint someone from our household to be king. We would get everybody involved, right? But not David's father. He didn't even think about him in consideration. So in that way, he experienced being disregarded. And then time later, when the Israelites were being oppressed by the Philistine named Goliath, who was this mighty giant, and David went to go take some food to his brothers in battle, and his brother Eliab completely dismissed David and told him he was just there to start trouble and to make fun of them. And another older male figure for David disregarded and dismissed. And we all know how that story ended, right? David ended up, with the strength and help of God, defeating Goliath. And then we get to King Saul. King Saul was David's mentor, his leader, the father of his best friend Jonathan, and also, as people may sometimes forget, Saul was also David's father-in-law. And Saul would disrespect David time and time again, looking to kill him, stalking him, and just really looking to threaten the call of God on David's life. And so we see this man who would become great and known the worldwide, and his story would be told for thousands of years afterward. And it started off with being disregarded, dismissed, and disrespected. And the one thing that kept David going was knowing who he was and knowing who he was called to be by God. And so when the enemy tries to convince you that you don't matter, I want you to know that that is a lie meant to destroy you and your potential. You do matter. we are all created in God's design, and we all have a function and a purpose. And it's the enemy's job to confuse us and get us to not be able to see that. And so if you're like me and you've had seasons where you just didn't really feel good about yourself, or felt less than your best, or even what you would consider to be, in a depression, you may have questioned that. You may have questioned, do I really matter? And I would tell you, the big and the small things that we do affect those around us. If we all, I'll just say, any random person decides tomorrow that they are going to live their life to the fullest, they are going to do the best that they can by their neighbor, by those around them, and makes that conscious choice and decision every day, that will absolutely have an effect on those around them. From giving to the poor, helping someone in need, being a listening ear, being a good friend, being a good family member. These are all things that elevate those around us, and you absolutely matter. And I can promise you, there are people in this life who cannot picture their lives without you. So I would heavily encourage you, if you struggle with those things, as always, connect with a licensed therapist. But just remember that you are seen by God. He has a plan and a vision for your life. You matter to those around you. And if no one tells you that, you matter to me. And I'm here to make sure that you know that you matter, and that your potential matters, your purpose matters, and to encourage you, no matter what the story has been in your life, no matter what your family's told you, no matter what people who have harmed you have tried to convince you, no matter what, has been said about you, or even the thoughts that you've thought on your own. You matter, you count, and we need you. So if you would like further resources, I've included them in the description box and on the website, baggagetoboldness.com. As always, feel free to head over to the website, add yourself to the email subscription list. That way you can get daily devotionals of encouragement straight to your inbox. And just remember, you've got this, because God's got you. Until next time.